Kentucky is celebrating a birthday. We were admitted to the Union on June 1st, 1792. Of course, today is the 2nd of June. And now the Frazier History Museum in downtown Louisville is launching a new podcast called Kentucky Wide. The first episode, the stories of 4 black photographers from Kentucky, the Smith brothers, who were twins from Nicholasville, Moneta Sleet from Owensboro, Kentucky, and then the famed Bud Dorsey of West Louisville. He spent there's Bud right there in action. He spent much of his career at the Louisville Defender, but his photography showed up everywhere in our city, and he died in 2021. Joining me to talk about the new podcast is Simon Miners, the communications and research specialist at the Frazier History Museum on West Main Street. So Simon, thank you for coming in. The podcast is brand new. Why did you select the photographers to begin with? I love Bud Dorsey. I miss him a lot.
Of course. Well, our podcast is new. It's called Kentucky Wide. We launched it yesterday, which is June 1st. Kentucky was admitted to the Union June 1st, 1792, so we were celebrating its 233rd birthday yesterday. We thought, let's give a gift to the whole Commonwealth of Kentucky, have this new podcast. People can learn all about the notable figures from Kentucky. It's thematically organized, so the first episode establishes those 4 different photographers you just mentioned, the Smith brothers, Bud Dorsey, of course, and Moneta Sleet, who was an Ebony magazine photographer from Owensboro. He was the only black photographer at Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral. So he photographed Bernice King with her mother there.
Amazing.
And then he won the Pulitzer Prize for that. So we're trying to establish that all these Kentuckians who grew up, whether it was those twins who grew up in Nicholasville as sharecroppers, they moved to Harlem and became world-famous photographers. These people go on to have big lives and impact the rest of the 7 billion people on Earth. And we want people to take this podcast, download these episodes, and learn about these famous Kentuckians.
We were just over at the Frazier yesterday covering the cool 120 Cool Kentuckies exhibit that has been up for a while. And I guess the podcast has come out of this.
Sure. Yeah, so 120 Cool Kentucky Counties, that's like an exhibit in our brick and mortar museum. So if you show up during museum hours, you can click these big touchscreen monitors with a map of Kentucky, and you click a county and you can learn a song from that county, notable figures, a video, and you can learn fun facts like who the county was named for, when it was founded. I was just sharing with you a fun fact. Yes. Hopkinsville.
Cool,
right?
Cool information about Kentucky.
Exactly. So if you want to know anything about the 119 counties outside the Gene Snyder Freeway, you come to the Frazier, you learn, for instance, I just told you, Christian County, Kentucky. Every McDonald's biscuit made east of the Mississippi River has flour from Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Oh my gosh.
So if you're in Brooklyn, New York, and you get an Egg McMuffin, you're eating flour from Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
All right, so the flour is made there,
yeah,
and it gets out to all the McDonald's.
Sure, it's a big part of their economy there. They have productive flour mills, and I think Siemens is based there. So we're just trying to establish how these local communities throughout the state have relationships with other parts of the world that you wouldn't think about.
What other cool things have you learned about Kentucky? You were telling me about Covington, which is up at Cincinnati.
Covington, all right. So Covington, think about this, northern Kentucky. As the crow flies and drive time, Covington is closer to Canada than it is to Paducah. That's how wide the state of Kentucky is. Which I like to think of as how we got the name for this podcast, Kentucky Wide.
Kentucky Wide. And it launches, it's already up. People can listen to it.
First episode came out yesterday. You can get it anywhere you get podcasts. So that's Apple Music, Spotify, I think iHeart, Audible, any of those platforms. You can go search Kentucky Wide. It's a service of the Frazier History Museum. You can download it, listen to it in your car, listen to it on a Kentucky road trip if you like.
All right.
And make sure you come down and visit us in person too and support the museum and all the great work we're doing.
And see that exhibit. It's great. Thank you, Simon, for coming in. We always love to check in with the Frazier History Museum.